What's up, everybody? This is Beyond with Extendly, and I'm being joined by Steve Rosenbaum. Steve is with Flawless Follow-Up. He runs a SaaS agency himself, white label of High Level. He's going to do another session with us today. All right, so the topic for today is turning new clients into raving fans. So, Steve, I will let you go ahead and take it from here.
Thank you, Beyond. Thank you. How's everybody doing? Everybody's hearing me okay, I hope. Thanks for tuning in today. And Beyond, thank you so much for bringing me in and for allowing me to address the community. And I'm excited to do this because this is something that I've had my own agency, if you will, for a bit over a decade now. And I've learned a few tricks, but I've also been around marketing automation for a long time. Technology has come a long way since I started helping businesses with this. I'm very passionate about it for many reasons. Number one, because small businesses want and need our help, and we can help them in any business environment. Even if even if the business environment is challenging as it is right now, we can do a lot to help them find some business right away. So I'm very passionate about helping them succeed. But I'm also very passionate about helping you learn the skills to help them, because everybody wins in that scenario. So Beyond asked me to share some of my expertise, which I'm happy to do. And last week, which I thank everybody for participating. Today, I wanted to share with you some of my onboarding tips. Let me share my screen here. And the only thing I'll ask Beyond is if you'll let me know when you're seeing my screen. It should be coming up right now. All right. Yep. And we're going to talk about turning new clients into raving fans, best practices for onboarding and delivering big wins. Everybody seeing that, right, Beyond? All right.
Yep, we can see it.
It's also got some great tasks as possible. Now, one of my clients that I love to talk about has been my client for about 12 years now. And I said to him the other day something about, how long we've been clients. And he says, well, I can't leave you, because if I leave you, it's like pulling the plug out on all my businesses, on all my customers, on all my marketing. Now, that's because I have built a lot of the automations in place. Now, he's been a client so long that he was here even before the high level days, all right? But the thing is, when we build these systems and we get the customers plugged in, those businesses, they want to stay plugged in because it is driving so much business for them. So it's important for them to see success really quickly. Now, the picture I'm showing to you on the right side of the screen, I look back, this is from 2014. This is even back then, nearly a decade ago, a company hired me. This was a marketing automation platform that no longer exists today. It was called Lead Outcome. But they hired me for the very thing we're talking about. I put together this course called the Success Path. And this was geared towards the business, how they can get success, how they can have success very quickly. Because we know that if they have success quickly, their chances of staying with us a long time are great. But if we don't get them success very quickly, then the chance of them staying with us, they go down dramatically. So we're going to talk a little bit about churn rate today. Churn is losing people. We want to minimize the churn. We want people to stay with us a long time. The best way to do that is to make sure they are successful quickly. So as soon as they sign up, let's get them up and running quickly. And Extendly is a great partner to help you with this. All right. They have helped me with my clients with it. They do a great job. They get rave reviews, and they can make your company look even bigger than they are. And they can help you with the technical aspects of this and even the logistical aspects of this. So make sure that you get your customers up and running quickly when they sign up with you for the first time in your new SaaS agency. Make sure you help them complete the launch pad. All the steps that are coming with the launch pad, go through them with that. Have that first onboarding session and go through it with them. Then help them get their contacts imported. You might even have to help them find their contacts. Many times I have to help them get contacts out of another CRM platform. Maybe it's in their calendar system. Maybe it's in their QuickBooks account. Ask them where all their contacts are. Help them get them together. Get them into a spreadsheet, the right format. Many of them don't even know how to format a CSV file the right way. Help them do this. Help them get those contacts into the system. Just taking these steps alone is going to set in their mind that, hey, I'm moving forward. When they see something happening, when they see several hundred contacts in the system, they're going to love that. And many times you could help them find contacts they didn't even know that they had. Help them get out their first message. Right? This is a big key for many reasons. You want them seeing what it looks like for the messages to go out. But most importantly, they're going to start getting the feedback. They're going to start getting, the conversation manager is going to start showing up. And the businesses love that. They've never seen anything like that. And finally, communicate. I'm going to talk more about that. Communication is the key. Many times, if we lose somebody, we can look back at ourselves and say, you know what? We didn't communicate with them quite enough and didn't give them the information that they want. So, look at those situations. When you lose somebody, find out why it is. And if it's something that you can improve in your process, then definitely improve that process, right? All right. So where can we get them big wins with high success rates? Very, very quickly. Fortunately, High Level is great at this. So many ways. We could help them with their reputation. We could just help them send out a bunch of requests for reviews. And what do you think is going to happen? They're going to get those reviews. And when they see those reviews, they're going to look at you. They're going to say, wow, this is working. Then you know what they're going to ask you? What else can you do for me? You see, every time we have one success, it opens the door for an opportunity for more success. That's why we want these fast wins. So do something where they're going to see quick results. The reviews, the reputation, that can get you very, very quick results. Bear in mind that what they're comparing this to is working with other advisors, other agencies that take a long, long time, right? If they hire somebody to help them with SEO, it could take them months until they see results. But you could do something and literally see results on the very same day. That's going to blow them away. They're going to absolutely love that. Google My Business integration is also going to show them activity right away. They're going to realize right now, they don't really know when something's happening over on Google, right? But they're going to see that activity and they're going to know that you're showing them the activity. A reactivation campaign where you help invite customers back to do business with them again. Or how about putting the web chat widget on the front page of their website? Even if their website is an external website, you could put that web chat widget there, and then you could start showing them that activity inside of your SaaS account and inside the conversation manager. And the missed call text back is another great feature where, again, it's often overlooked, but they're going to love that. When they're not able to answer the phone, but they see the text message go out and see people responding, and their app starts ringing on their phone and the conversation manager starts buzzing, they love that. And that's exactly what my last tip is. Anything you can do to get the conversation manager buzzing, okay? Get that activity in the conversation manager. The businesses that I work with, that I bring on board, that's one of the things they tell me they like most. They've never seen that before. They have always had to log into all these different accounts, all right? Or they don't like giving out their personal cell phone number for text messaging, right? So they're not used to all these messages coming into one place, and they're not used to having a history for their contacts, being able to scroll up and see the whole conversation. That's all new to them. When you tie that into different channels, when you bring in Google My Business messaging, when you tie in Facebook or Instagram, when you start tying these in there and they start seeing all their connections and all the conversations coming in one place, they absolutely love that. When they see that activity, that's what they're going to think. They're going to think, I've never been this engaged with my customers. I've never been able to have conversations like this. I need to stay plugged in. I do not want to unplug from my customers. It's going to be a big key for them to stay with you a long time. Minimize that churn and get them staying with you a long, long time. Okay, so let's talk about delivering what I call red carpet service. Now, we all want to strive to deliver red carpet service. Here are some tips to ensure that it actually happens. Number one, make sure you automate an onboarding sequence, at least for the first 30 days, okay, when people come on board. And then I would also automate a message to go out just before their monthly subscription renews. Now, some people shy away from this. Some people might think, I don't want to remind them there's a payment coming up. No, that's the wrong way to think about it. It's got to be the other way around. You got to remind them, you got to thank them, and you've got to encourage them and give them a reason to look forward to the next month. All right. So definitely be in communication with them. Those first 30 days are key. Make sure that you're touching base with them regularly in the first 30 days. You should automate this so nothing falls through the cracks. and then just build a sequence. It just sends out a reach out message every 30 days, just keeping in touch. If it comes directly from you, the owner or the manager of the SaaS agency, it's going to be very, very impressive for them. How about scheduling regular reviews with them? I said quarterly, you could do them monthly, but it would be a great thing to do to get together with them and show them some statistics. All right. One of the things they don't know, and I think I've got this somewhere else on the slide, but frankly, I think maybe I overlooked it. So I want to say this quickly. Okay. It's important for you to set the expectations of what this is going to look like in the program. How are they going to know it's working? You don't want to say you're going to see success because your sales are going to go up. Number one, that takes too long. Number two, you don't always have control over that. You could be doing your job. You could be starting those conversations. You could be getting in touch with all their customers. That's where the success is, because they don't have that right now. So let them know the success they're seeing is the conversation manager buzzing. It's the tagging and the segmenting and the filtering that you're doing so that they have more information about their customers than they ever had before. Reports and the statistics you're able to deliver because you're measuring those things. When you let them know that this is what success looks like, you schedule these regular reviews to show them, and you're going to be able to show them things every single month. You'll be able to show them that their list size is growing. You're going to be able to show them how many people are responding to the calls to action, clicking on links, watching videos, participating in things that they see on social media. When you can do that, you're showing them the success. They're going to recognize this is working, and I've never had this much control over my business and my marketing before. That's why they're going to love you. And then once you have that early success, parlay that, roll that forward. Now talk about a long-term strategy, 6 months, 12 months, even 24 months. Show them that you've got a plan for what this looks like going forward. Let's talk about that 6 to 24 month plan. What could that look like? Number one, and why is it important? Number one, it's less overwhelm on them. When we try to deliver everything all at once, it's like drinking from a fire hose. If we give them access and turn on all of the high level capabilities at once, or all of the Extendly snapshot power, if we turn that all on at once, we blow them away. They don't have the knowledge that we have and the understanding of the program. And it gets very, very intimidating for them. So don't give it to them all at once, all right? Give it out to them in smaller chunks. It's less overwhelm on them. It's also less of a burden on you. You're not going to have those deadlines to deliver big projects all at once. You don't need to. Show them little incremental steps each and every month that show them making progress, and they're going to love you because each month their system's going to grow, and they're going to understand it when you deliver it in bite-sized chunks. So build modularly, okay? Like little pieces of a puzzle that stand alone independently, but when you plug them in, they make a much bigger package, okay? Build out modularly, not delivering a big package all at once. Don't overpromise, all right? Underpromise and over-deliver. And these are some of your secrets and keys to long-lasting success. This is going to minimize the churn, and you're going to have more long-lasting success when you break it out in small pieces and introduce it a little bit at a time so you don't overwhelm them. Let's go back to what I said earlier about the importance of communication. First of all, make sure that you follow up immediately after the order. All right. Now, this obviously you're going to automate this, and it seems common sense, but you want to make sure that immediately when they sign up, they're going to start getting information from you. Now, obviously, is going to send them their login and everything else, but you should have your own message that goes out to them, welcoming them and letting them know what to expect. You're also going to follow up often. Now, especially that first month. That first month is so important. You might set up a 10-day or 15 or even a 30-day sequence. Day one, here's what you can expect. Here's another feature that you'll want to take a look at, all right? Think of the things that you want to make sure that they understand and that they experience first month. Remember, important thing is to get them their first successes in that first 30 days, even right away. So set up a sequence to make sure that happens, to make sure that they are accomplishing some of those goals that we talk about. Here it is. To say to you earlier, I know I had it in a slide somewhere. We want to show them what success looks like. I talked a bit about this a little bit ago. Make sure they understand the success are the small things that you can see in high level that they're not seeing right now. You know, for instance, I've got, let's see, somewhere around here. I don't know where it is. Oh, I think I showed it last week anyways. You know, I've got a coupon pack here, one of those Val packs with all these coupons here. And sometimes I talk to a business owner and he advertises in there. He says, I don't know if it works or doesn't work. You know, a couple people come in and they're waving their coupon around. He doesn't know if it works. But when you tie that ad into an activity, a call to action that leads them back to your SaaS agency, that gets people filling out a form, that gets them into an automation, then they can see that, hey, you know what? This really is working. You get that conversation manager buzzing. If you get them to change their marketing and focus on getting that conversation manager buzzing, they're going to have better results from the marketing that they do. So show them that that is what success looks like. Success is not just getting the phone to ring. Success is getting in touch with your contacts, getting engaged with them, and having more knowledge about what they're doing than you ever had before. Knowledge equals control, and that's what business owners want. Make sure they know where to get help. And there's various types of help. You know, they might need some help from tech support, and it might be something that you handle. It might be something that Extendly handles. It might be something, I don't know, you know, that somebody else handles, whatever the case might be. Let them know, hey, if I got a tech question, here's where I go. But often billing might be handled somewhere else. So make sure they understand the difference. This is what tech is. This is what billing is. Here's where you get the answer for each one. Make sure they understand where to get that help. And set those expectations. We've talked about that a couple times now. Now, you also want to set boundaries and limitations. Clients, some of them will take advantage of whatever they can. All right. So make sure they understand what's okay. What is it? What's your responsibility as an agency and what's not your responsibility as an agency? What are you capable of doing and what are you not capable of doing? How much support do you offer for your price for your services and how much don't you? You know, so make sure that you set those boundaries and make sure they understand when they could reach you. You know, for those of you that have given out your private contact information, your cell phone number and your email, make sure they understand when it's okay to use those things and when it's not okay to use those things. Believe me, you're going to want to do that and your family's going to want you to do that. So let's talk about creating raving fans. These are the people that love you so much that they sing your praises and they give that valuable word of mouth advertising to their friends or families, other businesses they know. How do we do that? First of all, give bonuses. They love bonuses. The very first slide I showed you was a bonus course that I delivered. I did that a decade ago. Still works, right? You could do that. You could create a course for them of how to succeed. And you could give that to them as a bonus for signing up. Also, build community. If your agency is a local agency, if all your businesses live nearby, build a community. Maybe you want to have in-person meetups, or maybe you want to sponsor events for them or get-togethers or whatnot. But when you lead a community, people are much more likely to stay with you. So if you bring them together as local small business owners, then they're much more likely to stay with you. By the way, something else I haven't put on here is join networking groups. And I think I talked about that last week. Very, very important. Your local chamber of commerce, or maybe it's a Rotary Club, or maybe it's a networking group like a BNI, whatever the case might be. Local meetups, participate in those. Whether you run the community or others run the community, if you're a part of that community, they're going to feel a closer bond to you. If they feel that bond to you, even outside of business, then they'll feel closer to you. They will stick with you longer. But if it is your community and you're the leader of the community, that's even the best. So there you go. I've got, if you're local, do something once a month, once a quarter. Do something to show your appreciation. Sponsor some sort of a meetup. If not, then have Zoom calls. I myself have weekly open office Zoom calls where I invite all my clients to be there. And now my community is worldwide. We've built that community. And now folks everywhere, when I get on these local Zoom calls, we got people in Australia and New Zealand, and obviously in the US and Canada and the UK and everywhere. We get people here and we all know each other and we're all friends. Even if it's all virtually, we feel like we're part of a community. And that's why I've got people that have been my clients and my customers and members of my community for well over a decade. And you'll have that too. Ask for reviews, referrals, and testimonials. Now, we do this for lots of reasons. Number one, it helps us create that word of mouth, right? That is so important. But the other thing is, when people acknowledge your success, and when they put that to the public, when they write it and you put it on your marketing, or they make a video for you, all right, then at that point, they now feel completely bought in. It now becomes harder for them to break away. So you get them to buy in, you get them to acknowledge that, yes, they have had success with your program. You get them to announce it and declare it publicly, and that is going to cement your relationship even more. All right, so let's wind this up right now with some advanced strategies to reduce churn. Remember, reducing churn means we want to keep to a minimum the people that leave. We want to stay with them longer. So here are some things that are probably new to you, and I hope you're going to enjoy them. These are some advanced strategies that you can do. Number one, wrong button. Number one, we talked about earlier, bonuses, even unannounced bonuses are even better. Loyalty points and free services. You can look into some third-party services that offer this. All right, there are some out there that will look at, for you might do something like for every 5 months that you're a member, you get your 6th month free. Now you might not want to do that, but if you do, I will tell you that often gets people sticking by you a little bit longer. They start getting the 4th or 5th month and they start thinking about, well, I don't know, is this really worth it or not? But then they start thinking, well, if I could just make it to one more month and then I get a free month, that could buy you that extra month. Now, the same thing goes with loyalty points. And man, they get you, right? They, and the airlines learned this a long time ago with frequent flyer miles. And I've seen this myself. I have been a member of groups that I have thought about leaving, but I've racked up loyalty points, and those loyalty points could be exchanged for free courses or something like that, and literally kept me engaged longer because I had this big balance of loyalty points. So it can work. Earn loyalty points that are good for other services. That's a way to reduce churn. Similar, but a little bit different, is what we call gamification. And this is offering rewards and recognition. So you could set up milestones. And this is a really good thing to do because it gets people wanting to achieve that next milestone. It is amazing how gamification works. People do it more for that recognition than anything else. And it's silly. You look at it, what does it mean? You might give somebody a digital badge on their membership or something that shows that they have some sort of recognition. And it's amazing how that gets people to want to participate and want to do the things to achieve those rewards. So what could you offer rewards for? You could offer rewards for onboarding, right? Getting your first 100 contacts, sending out your first 100 messages, right? So all these types of things that you want to experience. How about getting your first 10 reviews from the reputation manager? When you get them to experience the different parts of the platform and you reward them for that and you recognize them for their achievements, that's going to solidify that relationship. That's going to drive down the churn. It's actually something easy to do, and it's fun because there's kind of a competitive nature to it. You could even post a leaderboard that shows how are people doing? How are they earning the points? You'll be amazed at how people actually compete to be at the top of the leaderboard. Physical gifts. What's a physical gift? Send something in the mail. Do it when they sign up. Do it on a special occasion. Do it after 1 month. Do it after 3 months, 6 months, a year on their anniversary. Send them just a little something. It could be just a little something with your company or your agency's name on it. Dan can tell you about this. I actually sent him a physical gift a little while ago. It makes a big impression. And the great marketer Perry Belcher talks about this. Perry's a personal friend of mine. Many of you may know him as one of the original partners of Digital Marketer. But Perry talks a long time about one of his favorite things to do is to send a physical gift. All right. Now, it could be almost anything. It could be a coffee mug. In the case of what I said, Beyond was a cool little notebook, a cool little erasable notebook. There's all sorts of things that you can do. But when you send people that gift, they will remember it. And the last thing that works really, really well is a physical newsletter, a newsletter that you actually send out in the mail. A newsletter you send in the mail is much better than just sending an e-newsletter, an electronic one. Sometimes those often get overlooked. But the thing about the physical newsletter is, number one, your competition isn't doing it. So if you want to talk about how to differentiate yourself from everybody else, sending them that is something that's different. And when they get that in the mail every month, it's something that they start to look forward to. And it's something that kind of cements your place in their mind subliminally. Now, I know people that do this. I know people that go so far as to even throw in a DVD disc, which it's amazing. You don't even think people use them anymore. But maybe you did a webinar recently. Maybe you got some videos to show them. Well, guess what? Sending it to them on a disc is going to be much more memorable than sending them a link in an email. Strange how that works, but it does. Now, go back to what we talked about a couple points earlier. Talk about the gamification, the rewards, and the recognition. Well, if you had a newsletter, this is a great place to recognize those people that are having great success with your products. I did this years ago before I had my own agency. This is when I was working with a building materials company in the Dallas area. And I created a physical newsletter that I sent out. And in it, we gave examples of people, builders that were using our materials. And they loved it. People look forward to it. Every single issue, people look forward to not only getting it, but it was a big deal for the builders that got their projects featured in there. It became kind of a competition. Wow, whose picture is going to make it into the newsletter this month? So that's another great way to do it. And, it also reminds me of a story that Dan Kennedy tells. Dan Kennedy, really one of the great marketers of our time. And he sends out a physical newsletter. And one of the things he does every single year, at the end of the year, he sends out a binder, a 3-ring notebook. All right. The 3-ring notebook is completely empty, except it's got 12 dividers with each one, one divider for each month. And the idea is that every month when you get your newsletter, which he sends out with the 3 holes punched, people take it and they put it in the binder. And he says that newsletter combined with that strategy of sending out a new binder in October, November, December of each year, it has driven down his churn rate substantially. People love to fill the binder. I'm one of them. In my garage right now, I've probably got 5 binders full of Dan Kennedy newsletters. And believe me, each one of those paid, we're like $100 a month. So do the math here. If I've got 5, that's 60 months, $100 a month. I got $6,000 of Dan Kennedy newsletters that I still have saved after all these years. That's the power of physical goods and getting people to want to fill those binders. All these things work. So those are some advanced strategies that hopefully are new to you. Which one of those and which ones of those can you incorporate into your business? Bayat, I think that's the end of my presentation.
Fantastic. Steve, thank you very much for sharing your wisdom here. Those were some actually very, very good points that you made. And I talk about this in our strategy sessions with our clients as well. When you give the entire high level to them, or one of our snapshots, it's got so many things in it. You let them access the whole thing with all of the features. Then the customer quickly gets that overwhelming feeling versus introducing to them little at a time and over time. It makes such a big difference. I've seen so many of the agencies that actually take that advice, use it, and implement it, succeed. And and have success with their customers. They stay longer. They're able to pitch them a higher plan down the road once they actually have the ability to, be patient with learning the system. And now, they've relied on the system for a while. They know it's working. Their business is starting to depend on it. Now they'll, automatically have more patience towards feeling that overwhelm and learning to reduce that overwhelm. So great strategies there. Thank you for sharing that with everyone.
Thank you, Bayant. I appreciate that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, Steve is going to be joining us next week as well. These are 100% free coaching sessions to all the agencies that are our clients here. And there is no pitch whatsoever. You're not asked to buy anything or join anything. We simply are attempting to help you scale your SaaS agency from the best practices. In this case, Steve is providing the knowledge that he has from being a sales coach, being in the sales industry for how many years now, Steve? You've been
Well, I've been selling since I graduated from college in the mid '80s, so we're going on nearly 4 decades.
There you go, 4 decades. I was going to say 3, but 4 decades. That's why I asked you. But yeah, 4 decades of experience just sharing with you guys, and almost 10 years of running his own agency successfully as well. So join us on these calls on a weekly basis. These are going to take place on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, right at this time. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Bayant, thank you again.